and is inverted. Like
When
if she's
she's, like,
facing the left.
When she starts shimmying, then like it doesn't have that property. It's really bizarre.
That's
But
weird.
we'll maybe see more of that later on. For now, let's worry about what we got ahead of us because we have plenty on our plate. We've got Hero, we've got Zelda, and it's starting on a small battlefield.
Yeah. Generally seen as a pretty good stage for Zelda. Oftentimes she does end up enjoying these smaller stages because Phantom consumes so much of it at any given time. Whether that'll be a good or bad thing is dependent on the rolls that Kage gets. But so far, he seems to be high rolling.
Yeah, no, that was phenomenal play. With the start of it happening from just one poor tech chase on the right-hand platform and just spiraling out of control since there, that's about as good of a start as you could ask for as a Hero player. Although, caught at the ledge against Zelda, not the best place to be, especially when you're not in a position to rack up any further momentum, whether they adjust your stats, whether it's a reflector, even so much as charging your other spells. Getting space from Zelda is so important in this matchup.
I love how he's just keeping his boots on the floor. He's using Accelerado's speed, not to run around and jump all over the place, but just to extend his dash. Yeah, he's gone, unfortunately, the thwack he chose, consuming too much mana. Jesus. Constantly being aware, and the Kaboom still kills.
Kaboom is such a dangerous
so strong.
button. Like, definitely on the higher end of buttons that can be picked. It's active for so long, the wind box on it is hysterical. Like, that in conjunction with Sizzle leads to, like, perfect ledge play in just 2 buttons. Mind you, you have to be lucky for those buttons, as that Zoom was pretty lucky, but it's so silly how, like, a character's can be trivialized by just those spells happening to be there.
And just right spot at the right time, and the psych up, I mean, right place at the right time. And it's part of what makes the character kind of test a different skill set than a lot of other ones. And you could argue it more tests reaction time than many other characters in this game, because you have to be able to scroll through at the very least 2 or 3 spells before making your decision while still keeping an eye on your opponent and what they're doing. And that's kind of exactly what we saw, where he pulled out Psych Up and immediately was prepared with the up tilt, seeing that Inu was on a platform.
And it's funny, the time that it takes for a hero's stuff to come out, whatever that stuff may be, is actually dangerous to playing off of reaction as Zelda, because if she commits to one of her out of shield options, the plethora of solid buttons that she does have out of shield, or Nehru's Love, it might just not be at the right time. Regardless, the return to small battlefield, I think, is a very smart one. Although I do think you should be playing it a bit more defensively. Play a bit of a keep-out game and keep Hero at the ledge. Like, kagexice is gonna get his spells. Like, he's gonna be pressing spell buttons. Like, do what you can to just sort of weather the storm, but don't lose stage control. Because that's where I feel this game really ran away in favor of the Hero, was this entire base platform belonged to Hero from the start.
Yeah, and he's kind of exacting that same game plan. Even when the neutral getup comes out from Inu, where he manages to grab ledge, Kage has been fully respecting that space and just taking center, which has, been pretty strong because Phantom is so reactable. Like, even online, you can watch Phantom slowly get built, and if you respect that space and gain something off of it, you've got a pretty solid game plan ahead for you.
Ooh,
minus
really
13,
like
you said, right? Minus 13?
Yep. That whole interaction, I think, was fantastic. The follow-up with the level 1 neutral B, the jabs, like... You're forced to respect Zelda when she's in shield. Every character in the game has to, because she has very quick, literally lightning-fast moves out of shield that are all very dangerous. And Hero, with his normals, not especially quick on shield. Once that Zelda is snapping back, she's hurting you.
The oomph is on deck, and okay, with Accelerado, you got to be a little bit more careful. But this may be a blessing in disguise. While oomph is active, Hero also takes more damage. It's very akin to to Buster art, but the Kaboom doesn't care.
Yeah, no, Kaboom is law. Like that projectile is arguably one of the best in the game, with very good reason. What's our follow-up? That was a really risky Hero's Love. I understand why it came out as a reaction to the menu, but gotta be careful. And there we go. It's swoosh. It's a crit. It's a perfect landing. kagexice taking that 2-0.
And what more can you say? 1-8.
The odds are just so heavily in your favor for that, where like even if you didn't get a crit, it was doing a lot of damage. Like, there's no reason not to. Like you mentioned earlier, like FD is the premier counter pick against Hero because he doesn't have platforms to do that. Like Whoosh has relatively low cooldown, yes, but when you get seamless follow-ups off of it at higher percentages, you're just sort of left in awe.
And the scary thing is that while the combo we saw there wasn't true, I mean, Inu was instead just mashing Nair out of its stun to counteract whatever chase that Kage could have done. On Town and City, that's a true combo.
It's really funny. It's dangerous.
It's really, really funny. But it all comes from the focal point that Kage just played a whole lot more disciplined than Inu did. He played center, he played out of shield, he played very much a controlled game state and forced his pressure by the threat of what could come off of menu. And that's a really, really devious way to play because it's chance. It's chance-based. Like, do I have to be afraid now or the next time? You won't know when things like Kaboom will roll up or even if they'll choose it at all. And the scariest thing that any player can do is the option they don't pick.
Indeed.